Tell me something I know. The pressure's getting real. You don't seem to realize. You know nothing at all. It's my life. It's my dream. It's my body. Don't you torture me.
Welcome to Local Distortion. On this podcast, I'll be talking to the best up-and-coming independent artists and bands. I am your host, Daniel Kirk. My guests this week are Kill the Ideal.
Hiya, how you doing?
Hey mate, you alright?
Hi mate.
I'm good. It's very early. I don't know how long you guys have been up.
Oh mate, 3 days straight. We're hanging.
Now, would you like to introduce yourselves?
I'm Ash. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Luke, I'm the bass player.
I'm Jordan, I play the drums.
And welcome to Eurovision.
So how did the band come together?
We were all at local college together, but me and Luke were together. But then Jordan, we met a couple of years later, and I'd been in bands for a few years, and I sort of thought, this is pants. I want to do something that's different, and we'll try and do something that's different. And it was a bit like when you get the A-team together. I was like, right, who do I want? I need a
to find like the best members, don't you?
Yeah. So I was like looking for a Hannibal, and I was looking for my Mr. T, and so I was scouring the countryside of Lincolnshire. So there's only one bass player that I knew that would be amazing, and that's my brother, which is Luke. And
that's handy.
But he was going around Europe at the time, actually playing with Europe, and and he got back, and I was like, "All right, lad, do you want to start a band?" And he was like, "Yeah, mate, I've got nothing else to do." So we kind of met up, and at the time, Jordan sort of joined a little bit further down the line, but me and Luke just sort of were just plodding about together, and then we were like, right, we need a drummer. And so we went back into college and we met Jordan. But back then, he looked like Nick from that American boy band. I can't remember what they were called, NSYNC, I think it was. And so he used to walk around flicking his leg. And I was like, all right, mate, you look pretty nifty on the kit. And he was like, yeah, mate. And he was like, who you played with? And at the time, we played with a band called The First. I think they've stopped now. They sort of split up, but they were sort of like doing quite well. And I just remember his face. He was like, buzzing, oh, bloody hell, you've made it to the big time. And then we kind of separated ways for a bit in terms of, because Jordan was at college, and we sort of, at the time, he was already in like a college band, so he couldn't really apply his time. So we just went between sort of drummers, and then we weren't really sort of taking the band that seriously at the time, because I was a student nurse, and Luke was doing his job and sort of getting into that. And anyway, then one day I just felt a bit depressed, and I was like, right, I'm going to find a drummer properly, and I'm going to do this band like properly. So I messaged Jordan, and just on the off chance, you still drumming, mate? And he was like, yeah, actually, I'm looking for a band at the minute. I've just left my band Left by Wolves. No, not what was it? What was it called? It's not Left by Wolves. Sorry, he left the Wolves. So bless his heart, he used to travel back from Leicester, for practice every time. He used to come on the train with all his cymbals and that, looking like an homeless person. And I used to feed him. And then that's how we met, really. And we've just been brothers ever since.
So when did you initially start this band? Like, how many years have you been going now?
It's like 6 or 7 years from the start, I reckon, but
Seriously,
with the new lineup, it's 3 or 4.
Yeah, when we released the first EP, which was 2015, that was kind of the first real thing we did, wasn't it? It was us 3.
Can you describe the band in just 3 words? As there's 3 of you, maybe a word each.
What my big one's incendiary.
Incendiary.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that word.
Explosive.
Is that your second one?
No, incendiary. So there's an incendiary grenade, isn't there? Which is it's like a. I didn't make it up. I actually I got it off a film, but it's the coolest thing. He was trying to explain a band. It's I don't know. It's set in like the 70s or something, but he's basically trying to explain this band, and he says, "You guys are incendiary," and I was like, looked up and I was like, "Bloody hell, that's amazing." It's like there's an incendiary grenade, which I also know that he's playing this video game. It was like, I don't know what it was. But not Full Metal Jacket, what was it? Full Metal Gear or something, whatever it was called. Metal Gear Solid, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
What a dick. How many codes do you need to get a fucking name? Just give me an hour, mate. I'll finally get there.
That's fine.
But yeah, there was just like this incendiary grenade as well, which it's just I think it just means like multiple explosions or just explosive. But it's just a fancy way of saying it, I think.
Yeah, it's a very fancy word, yeah. It's a cool word, though. I like it. We've never had that before.
I don't know if I have.
Charismatic.
Yeah.
Jordan's just knocked 2 out of the ballpark, but he's going to have to go with 1. So we've got incendiary. I reckon...
Which was my 2?
You said dangerous or energetic.
Yeah, I'll say dangerous. That's
Dangerous.
Dangerous, yeah. Like hot. Coming at you quick.
Look, we don't want to know about last night, Jordan. Keep that to yourself.
Okay, do you want to stick with those?
Luke's got
I
one
don't
more.
know. He's rubbing his beard.
I don't know.
He's thinking.
Trying to get my new beard to give me some inspiration.
Hairy.
Yeah, because we're all trying to grow beards now, so hairy's probably a good one.
Yeah, I'll go with hairy.
Incendiary, dangerous, and hairy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably how you'd be described in like a prison lineup, wouldn't you?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be in rehab by next week.
Yeah, we'll stick with those. So now we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. What was the first album you guys ever brought with your own money?
Mine was the Spice Girls. I'm bloody proud of it, mate. There's some bangers on there.
I reckon the first actual CD that I ever had bought back with my own money was Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was like LPs kicking about and that before that, but yeah, that's the first one I actually remember going and getting from HMV.
Yeah, my first CD, it's because that was cassette. Actually, no, I didn't actually buy that, actually. I had a French exchange student coming over, and you know when you used to be able to copy tapes? I just nicked his and copied his. Fancy Jerry. Fit as fuck.
I got a bit of Bon Jovi that way by robbing it off the next door.
A bit of Bon Jovi, yeah. Mine was an EP by Joe. Do you know the Charlatans? They've been going for years. Yeah, it was. I can't remember the name of the song, but they brought this. It was this like piano, like lead in, like intro, and it was just absolutely banging, absolutely amazing tune. I bought that. Yeah, to Charlatans, I reckon.
Mine's a toss up between.
When you into Akon in them days?
Yeah, well, a bit before then. It was my first one was probably a toss up between the Mavericks and that song that Just Wanna Dance the Night Away.
That is a banger. Or Ricky Martin.
Yeah. Or Savage Garden, Truly Madly Deeply.
Oh, yes.
Chicky Cherry Coke.
Those were the lyrics, weren't they? There was a big debate about that.
He was fit, wasn't he? Absolute babe.
I can't even take the piss out of any of those.
Shockingly, yeah.
So let's talk about your most recent self-titled EP, which came out last year. Where do you guys record that?
We recorded it with the lovely and long Ben Sampson from LTA at Titan Studios.
I am familiar with Titan Studios. Yeah, a few other bands go there as well that I've spoken to, and yeah, say very good things. Because that's the guy from Lower Than Atlantis' studio, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. One of my mates' bands had done a single, or a friend that I knew at that time, a guy called Bruce, who we now call him Bruce. His band they did one track with him, and I saw that he was recording, and then I thought, hang on a minute, this could be quite cool. So I just sent him an email off the off chance, and for some reason I put my phone number at the bottom of the email,
Yeah.
And I was on my way into town, I think, one day, and I was biking along a main road, and I got a phone call from a withheld number, and it was this guy going, "Oh mate, it's Ben from Northern Atlantis," and I'm literally like, yeah. Obviously, no idea what was happening, and then pretty much fell off my bike into the main road, and that's stand off. And then we chatted for ages on the A16.
Do the voice. Do the voice how you answer the phone. It was.
Yeah. yeah. I was just going, "All right, mate." yeah. That's great. And then we went from there. We went down. Did
Because that's in like Watford, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, Watford. 2 tracks, and it was pretty surreal at the time. Obviously, the LTA are quite a big band, and there was a big inspiration to us. To start off with, it was really inspirational, and there was like Eddie's drum kit was sat there, and which was a big thing for me.
Which you did not touch.
I did not touch it. And it was we did 2 tracks to start with, and then we went back and recorded the rest of the EP. I think pretty good. We're good friends with him now, and it's got a good relationship with him now, which is really good and nice.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Very business. He works very hard. Bless him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and I've heard some really cool techniques that he has as well with regards to recording. One band were recording drums down there, and he said, "Right, we're just gonna record the drums and record the cymbals separately."
Yeah, that's Ben.
Yeah. Did you guys do that as well?
Yeah, we did that the first time around.
Yeah.
Bit weird to start, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, I mean, that's a bit of a head fuck.
Look at that time he made us strip naked. Bloody hell.
But yeah, obviously the technique is a really cool one. Obviously it's very weird, but it gets results as well. Sounds amazing.
It saves the cymbal sound flooding into the microphones on all the...
Yeah, definitely, because it's a very hard sound to control otherwise, and genius actually. But yeah, must be a bit weird to get your head around that.
It was pretty hard. I was basically air drumming for half of it, and then which was weird, but yeah, it was all right.
And then when it comes to just doing the cymbals on their own, you just look like you don't know how to play.
You just look like Animal from the Muppets.
That's what I look like anyway.
We did My Life. I went, well, was it? I had like just some kind of bug or something, but I sounded like Barry White. I was like, sounded really gravelly, and he was like, because it's like a belting chorus. I was like trying to smack it out, and he was like, "That's not good enough. That's not good enough. You need to do better than that." And I was just like, because it's the first time I did it, I was really nervous. We were all kind of, I mean, we had recorded with Lee Batiuk before, but we were still kind of inexperienced in a sense, really. And so I was trying to sing, and he was just like, "Mate, that is shit. Do it again." And I was just like, he goes, "I don't know why you've even bothered coming." And then I was just like, so by the end of it, I was just like nearly crying. "I'm trying, mate, I'm trying." And then he basically made me feel that mad. And then I was just like, "Right, you dick, I'm going to show you." And then, so I absolutely like belted this note out. And then I didn't know, but apparently Bruce said, "God, you've been a bit harsh to him, aren't you?" And then I basically pelted this note out, and he goes, "That's why." Again, A-team classic. He does, for anyone that is going to go and work with him, you've got to be prepared to work hard. He does make you graft, and he does pull it out of you. And that's some of the best vocals I've done in terms of power and everything. He got it out of me. Bearing in mind, I'm still having counselling, but apart from that, he is good. Bless him. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's his reputation as well. So he's got to get the best out of people. And he consistently does, because a lot of the bands, well, a few bands actually that I've interviewed go there, and he gets the best out of those guys as well. I'd say he's very highly recommended.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Right, so let's do a track commentary from the EP, as we got a good number of songs on there. 6 in total, very generous. Why did you want to go with 6?
We when we released the first EP, there was only we put 4 out. I mean, we've been lucky, really. I mean, and I'm not saying this in any arrogant or anything like that. We've not expected it, but we've not really received any negative press. It's all been kind of it's been constructive, but mostly it's been very kind of surreal, really, the response we've had to it, and we're just like, wow, like we're over the moon with it. But the only thing that we had really with the last EP, which did really well, but they just said we just want more. There's 4 tracks on there, and they'd said it was a good comment because it leaves you wanting more. But we were like, well, maybe if we give them a couple of extra, we've given them more than last time, and obviously we want to then go on to do an album. So we're giving you a little more each time, really.
It's just because a lot of bands nowadays they're told to just literally just concentrate on singles, maybe a double single.
There's options like that at the moment. Like we went back to Ben's in stages, kind of doing 2 or 3 songs at a time. We ended up more or less well on the way to an album, and Ben was sort of game for that. But then as time went by, there was going to be a big gap between the first EP and then our next release. So just to like help us regain some momentum, we decided to go for an EP and then hopefully churn out an album in kind of less time while we've got the ball rolling, sort of thing.
And I'm sure like some of these songs might turn up on that album anyway, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, as we kept just sort of churning them out at Ben's, that's why we ended up with 6. Like it's probably 1 or 2 more than some EPs have on them, but we kind of had songs there, so we just picked a good chunk of them.
And as long as you haven't left yourselves short, I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? And obviously people are getting 6 songs instead of 4, so yeah. And if all the reviews have been positive, it was the right call.
Yeah.
I think the first single that we actually released from the EP was 9 months before the actual EP came out. I think we released Know Your Name in January, which was the first single, and the EP came out in November, October. So 8-9 months. So we kind of did do the singles thing a little bit. We staggered it out and then we hit them with the EP.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why we wanted to do 6. So it meant that there was still a good chunk of music left on the EP when we actually released it and had not actually heard.
Yeah, definitely.
Good momentum and towards it, because there was a long time before when we released our first EP. It was like 2 years ago. So people had kind of forgotten about us, or we weren't in the limelight anymore. So we wanted to put something out to refresh people's minds and keep momentum going strong.
It's very hard to sort of plan out the promotional structure of an EP to keep it fresh and relevant once it has released. So the more you can do before you release it helps the hype a hell of a lot more, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so let's start with the track commentary. Number 1, Dangerous.
It was just a little riff that I had on guitar, and then sort of just put this droning D note underneath, and no, it wouldn't be D now, is it? I don't even know what key we play in. I don't even play guitar. But anyway, it basically just turned into this, I don't know, just this anthem that we just sort of, and then I had the chorus. But before we went to Ben, it sounded completely different, didn't it, in terms of how the structure of it. It goes da, 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 and that we kind of started off with that rather than the da, 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 da. So when we sort of went to Ben, this is what he's great at in terms of his production and structure and things like that. I was like, no, try that first, and then it just turned into this 3-minute banger. It's just the coming. Everybody when we do shows, that's the one that they're waiting for. They always wait for that one and they go mental over that. It was just we just wanted to have this anthem that when people heard it, they people that do know who we are, as soon as that comes on, they instantly or instantaneously know it's us, kind of thing.
Okay, track 2, Crazy.
It's written about my ex-missus.
Crazy was like it changed again at Ben's, didn't it? Because it was like a sort of laid back strumming on the guitar, not really a riff as such, and then Ben was like, no, we'll get a fat meaty riff in there, and that's when it kind of became sort of heavier, if you like, at the start, and then it gives it quite a good dynamic, because when it really drops down in the verses, it sort of punches back in the choruses with more impact than maybe it did in pre-production times.
Yeah, that song is massively about the chorus. That one, I think, it's kind of built around the chorus. The verses are really stripped back and calm, and then you've got this massive chorus, which is another thing that we kind of. I know Ash, when he starts writing the songs, is something we're really keen on, having that epic chorus feel to it and a big breakdown. And that's one of the tracks that kind of really, really does. Yeah, I think it was quite quick on it writing that song.
Yeah, it was more or less went in and but bar from the riff, it was more or less the structure of it itself was sorted. It's just we had the riff on when we got to the practice room, but despite it being pretty. In regards to the actual ability, it's very easy to play. I mean, if you didn't sing, it's wicked. You know, it's straightforward. But you try and sing over it, messes my head up. trying to play that riff at the end and then sing over the top of it, and me and Luke look at each other and we're like, bloody hell. Like, shit, why did we do this to ourselves? But no, it's really good fun, that one. And I mean, again, we had a really good response to that. And the first time we played it at the hometown show, that everybody, it was like the last, we've been very lucky that the last few we've done, they've sold out. And that one, like, they were all just like screaming the chorus at the top of their heads, and it was just absolutely lovely just to hear them singing it back. They were all singing about me. I'm crazy. Bloody lovely. Really, really nice.
All right, track 3, My Life.
This is my
Bon Jovi inspired.
I love this one.
Yeah, it is our favourite to play live, I think. Or Indecisive. Indecisive creeps through, isn't it? But sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Was it the first one we did or the second one we did with Ben? My Life?
My Life was the first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was kind of, I just remember, it was the first time we sort of delved into the production side that Ben likes to do and adding different sounds and instruments in. And I remember at first we weren't overly sure, but then when you sort of go back after lunch and hear it through the big speakers, we was like, yeah, it sounds amazing with sort of organ sounds and a bit of cowbell and all that going on. So yeah, it was a good experience to add all that, the new sounds in, to sort of change the sound of the band slightly.
I think this as well, with it being the first one, this was the first time we delved into gang vocals, as there's a lot of gang vocals in this EP.
Yeah.
I think the last chorus, there's that big gang vocal that goes over the top of the last chorus, which obviously completely changed our live sound because me and Luke had to try and
Be a gang.
So, yeah, it was really fun though. I remember recording that on the last day when we was down there. It was all of us around one microphone. It was really good fun.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that was when I initially came up with the idea for that. It was I'd been listening to Young Guns a lot. Obviously, this is going back to, what was their first album? All Our Kings Are Dead. All Our Kings Are Dead. I loved the album Bones, but that's my favourite album. All Our Kings Are Dead. Yeah, but they're very, everything. That whole album is just ballsy energy from start to finish, and I was just sort of like, there's this kind of sound. I'm very much into classic sounds, and I still listen to Led Zeppelin regularly. I listen to Deep Purple, things like, as much as newer bands. So I wanted to embrace that and have that kind of powerful vocal like you would get in the 80s and stuff like that, because it was so fucking cool. Yeah, you're listening. I was listening to I was just on Spotify. I think I was on the gym, and I just put 80s classics or something like that on, and Rap come on. And just this voice, this like power, this like screaming. I was like, not that I'm going to be doing that, but back then it was just all about, I've got a massive gob, listen to me, and I have got a big mouth. So, and it's like, it was very much, I want to make a massive chorus, a massive riff. I want this song to be massive. Just how many times can I say massive? And took it to the boys and was like, right, this needs to sound
massive.
Big. Yeah, this needs to sound massive. And that was the whole thing, was just to have that huge, energetic, incendiary chorus that just absolutely smacks you in the face. And I think we managed to pull it off, really. I think. I'm very proud of it, and I know the boys are. Yeah, really, I love playing that live. It's just, every time it kicks in, we're just absolutely buzzing. Really, really good tune to play live.
Yeah, I definitely get that kind of vibe from your vocals, like that kind of classic rock. I don't know. There's something there, and I'm thinking, how does this work with the style of music that you play? But it just does.
Yeah, I've never had any vocal lessons as such. I taught myself, and I basically learned just from singing
listening to the greats.
Yeah, listening to Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. Because I didn't have. My brothers didn't let me use the computers when I was younger because I'd end up watching porn or something. So they wouldn't let me wouldn't let me use it. So I just basically had to listen to whatever was in the house, and I was very, very lucky that I grew up in a house full of decent music, back in the day, there was Elton John, Queen, Bowie, ELO, Zeppelin, all that kind of thing. Now, my parents had, very good taste in music. My brothers did. They all taught me, listen to this. If I was listening to, the Spice Girls or something, I'd get a slap around the face. What are you doing? Turn that off. Listen to this. So that's basically what I grew up with. And, there's all this... it's just my opinion. There's not a lot of music at the minute. It sounds. I don't know. We might sound the same. I might be talking a load of crap, but a lot of the bands that are coming out, and it's not a criticism because I do like them, but a lot of I find vocalists, they're all kind of doing the same kind of thing. They're all kind of sound the same. You go onto YouTube, and it's sort of like
there's a lot of mediocre vocalists out there who don't have much range, I find, especially with bands being played on Radio 1, sort of the radio friendly rock bands.
It's not
they just don't seem to have the range. That's what I find, and that kind of turns me off listening to music like that, because I'm just well, there isn't any more. It almost goes monotone. It's just there's no range.
And I think that's kind of, and I don't know whether that's because they just want to play it safe or whether
I think it is that. I think it's maybe studio interference, pressure to continually have your stuff on the radio. Maybe
I don't know, but it's just the way I've grown up and sort of developed, and I just there's times in songs where you need to have a belting note. Gus does it a lot in Young Guns. He lets out. He has. He'll just do this soaring note, and it just complete. And Arcane Roots, for instance. He's got definite influences from guys from the past, and it's and it just sounds in my eyes and ears. It just sounds awesome to embrace. You need to have that influence, from all kind of genres, years past, things like that, because it just adds. When I'm listening to music, as we just said, if stuff with no kind of I don't want to say substance, but I listen to it for about 20 seconds, and I'm just I don't like it.
It's very generic, some of it.
Yeah, but it's just
with your vocals, it's very distinctive. It's easily recognisable, I think, and if you hear it once, you're not going to get really confused with anyone else, I don't think. It's very distinctive.
Very nice thing for you to say. I just blag it most of the time. But no, as I was saying about the other band, it's not I'm not criticising anybody, because that's the beauty of music, that there's something out there for everyone. It's just my opinion, but on how
I've probably been a little bit harsher, but we're not naming any names, but
but it's just
I'll tell you the names after we're finished.
But no, that's kind of the whole thing about us, is that we want to be that band that has that, it just makes you feel pumped, doesn't it? If you're feeling angry, you're feeling sad, you want to put a tune on, and then you just sort of I want to hear that chorus that's just going to kick me in the bollocks, and you're just I feel great. It pumps you up, makes you feel powerful, makes you feel energised. And it's that's what we want to deliver to people, and that's the sort of thing. I've had messages from people, genuine people that are suffering with depression, suffering with anxiety, saying, "I listen to your songs, and they just make me feel better. They make me feel happier." I just sing along, and it just makes I just get rid of all the stress just goes. And I suffered with an illness years ago, and that's why I got into music, because it used to help me.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to do that. We want to be that band that, gives you a ball kicking if you need it.
Okay, so we've spoken about this song for a good while now. So I think we should actually play this on the podcast.
That's good.
I'm game.
I'm going.
All right, would you like to introduce it for us?
Yeah, I Kill the Ideal, and this is what track is on the EP?
My life.
Third, yeah, track 3 of the EP, brand new EP. It's called My Life.
Tell me something I know. The pressure's getting real. You don't seem to realize. You know nothing at all. It's my life. It's my dream. It's my body. Don't you touch on me. Seems to me while I'll be everywhere that I go. All you do is ramble on. I just wanna be myself. It's my life. It's my dream. It's my body. Don't you touch on me. It's my life. It's my dream. It's my body. Don't you touch on me. It's my life. It's my dream. It's my body. Don't you touch on me. It's my life. It's my dream. It's my body. Don't you touch on me.
I've never introduced a song before. That was good. I like that.
Track 4, Spotlight.
This is the anthem.
Yeah.
This is the slow dance.
Yeah. I just had a load of chords that I'd put together and just sang this because I've now got my own little studio at home that I basically sort of pre-record demos and then send them to the lads, and then we work on them from there, because we can sort of, as a collective, we can then, because when we send it to our manager as well, he can then say, yeah, you know, I like it, blah, blah, blah. But this was back in the day when I just used to go to practice with my guitar and just be like, right, I've got this, blah, you know. And Jay Bell Instant, I remember his face when I started singing it, just the sort of the basic chorus. He pulls his face when he gets excited. It looks like a dachshund when they're about to go for a walk. His ears,
Tails waggling.
his tail definitely wags. It's a bit actually awkward in town, but he just pulled this sort of face and he was like, "We are doing that," and So basically, put the came up with this like little lead guitar line that just to put over the top of these chords, and it just evolved into this anthem, didn't it? We love playing that one live as well because it's a good tune to play. It was actually about back when I was suffering with this illness I had, and I just used to walk around town and she'd be like so paranoid. I used to think that everyone was like looking at me like, what are you doing? Why are you looking at me? Like, and they weren't. I'm sure. Although I used to look like Kurt Cobain. So probably look at that Nirvana wannabe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was actually just about that, like I used to feel so paranoid all the time and think, fucking hell, stop looking at me. And I used to always feel this level of expectation that wasn't there. No one used to put any pressure on me, but it was just used to be freaking out all the time. And so it's really nice to sing that one. That's one that people messages about saying, things like that. They love it because there's a lot, and especially with mental health on the rise in the minute, there's a lot of people out there that are really suffering, and they're suffering in silence, and they're too afraid or too embarrassed or scared to go and actually get any help.
Yeah.
And so for us and for me especially, I'm very proud of that song. It's my little gift to the people that are suffering in silence, bless their hearts.
Okay, Indecisive.
I'll let J-Well say this one because he's...
Loves it.
Yeah, I love this one. I think this is one of the hardest ones to play on the drums as well because with the vocals on top of it as well. We do a lot of gang vocals with it. It's the same as what the lads were saying about Crazy when they play the riff and then sing over the top of it. It's quite hard to drum and sing over the top of it. But this is just, fun, upbeat one. A lot of people like when they're watching it live, they look that it's a bit of a jig. You can see a lot of heads nodding. Do that sort of tail wagging, head nodding sort of thing. Yeah, it's good. And then it's just kind of a song of two halves. It starts with this like staccato riff, upbeat part that goes, into this. It might Ludovic, come on. Yeah, and it goes into this second half that's more epic and emotional.
I reckon it's one of them that it can appeal to like the musos because it's got a bit of a riff going on that's not quite as straightforward as it looks, but then people with a sort of lesser trained ear can still they can appreciate it because you can sing along to it and it still sounds a bit like a sort of poppy rock song. So it's the idea was it appeals to sort of everyone, I guess.
And I think out of all the tracks with gangs in, I reckon this is the track where the gangs go into the road. Yeah. Why did you take it? That bit sounds amazing. They just sort of like pop, and he did a great job with them. So yeah, very much loving the gangs on that one.
We recorded this at the same time as we recorded My Life. So it's Indecisive and My Life, the first two that we recorded together. And you can kind of tell both of them have the same they have the same sounds. Well, not sounds, but like the same guitar tone sort of, compared to the other ones where we came back to these, as you were saying earlier about the whole drum cymbal thing.
Yeah.
My Life and Indecisive I recorded with the drums separate to the cymbals. Yeah, you can imagine with this song it was very hard because of the drum. But the rest of the tracks were recorded just straightforward, all the kit together.
Okay. Interesting.
You'll have to have a listen and see if you can tell.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, because that's what I was kind of listening out for, but I couldn't quite figure it out. But yeah, that's interesting.
Middle 8 is where we go, where we enjoy. We all do a little leg flick, don't we?
Yeah, that's when the tails are really ragged.
It's going to be like a thing now, isn't it, with you guys? Instead of put your hands up, get your tails wagging.
Because we'll get arrested. Honestly, officer, it wasn't me.
Okay, we kind of touched on Know Your Name briefly, I think, before. Is there anything you want to add about that song?
From my perspective, I just wish it was sounding more like Arcane Roots because I fucking love them. No, it was... Again, that was just another song to be anthemic, wasn't it? And again, that's another one that we get a lot of response from people. They love singing that, the gigs and stuff. Like, when you played Know Your Name, I want to, scream it from the top of my lungs, sort of thing. And we had a gig actually recently, and we were actually playing this tune, and it was to Peter. We was actually supporting another band. This is where we were like, fucking hell, this is this is pretty good. And the on stage, for some reason, the vocal mics went down. This was like this huge bang. I don't know what happened. Something clipped anyway, and all the mics cut out. So we were carrying on. And they all just started fucking singing it. It was like shit. I only thought we had like 2 people that knew us. And, all these people like singing the chorus back, and this one lad, we know him, bless him. He sort of surprised us. He was there. He literally ran from the back of the room. I saw him pushing his way through, and just sort of pushed right up to the barrier, flinging his arms about. I was like, "Steady on, mate! I thought you're going to hurt someone." But, so yeah, that's the first time we gigged that. Actually, we were supporting Our Last Night in Birmingham. Was it Birmingham?
Yeah,
in Birmingham. And we played it there, and when the riff kicks in after the second chorus, they were loving it. They were going absolutely nuts for it. One guy, I think, dislocated his neck.
Yeah, this is where the mosh pit comes out. This one, I think we did a hometown show. It was our first hometown show that sold out, which was when we had released this track. It was kind of a release show for this track, and it was a secret venue show, and we did a whole thing about it. This track, when in the middle of it, it kind of breaks down into this heavy bit, and this circle kind of formed in the crowd, and I could kind of vaguely see it from the drum kit, and then my mum just comes walking through the middle of it, not really knowing what's going on, and all of a sudden the track just kicks in, and everyone just basically piles on top of it, and she goes absolutely flying. You can see her arms and her hair going up in the air, and she's just ends up on the floor in front of Ash.
I don't know what it was. It was about an 80 capacity room or something, and it was about 130 people in there or something. So it was pretty. Yeah. It was crammed. You literally just saw her go flying. And she got up and just like joined in with them. I was like, bloody hell, good on you. But yeah, so we've got really, really good memories, and it causes a lot of trouble, that song. It does cause a lot of trouble. But yeah, really, really proud of that one. It's a cracker.
Yeah, that was a great track commentary from all those songs. Loads of detail. That's awesome. Just what I wanted.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Probably got time for about 2 more questions. Would you like to start a rumour about Kill the Ideal?
Trying to think of something that's not overly filthy.
Yeah.
Jordan is starting up his own bakery company, making specialised Kill the Ideal cakes for grannies.
I feel like we've got a good one. We could.
Do you want to stick with that one, or?
I feel like there's
what
something
would the
that
shop
could
be called? Because all I'm thinking is Greg's, but that's taken. So.
Greg's, yeah. Right, can we come back to that one?
Yeah.
We'll save that one. We'll come back.
If you could only take one item on tour with you, obviously apart from the instruments and your phone, obviously, what's the most important item that you take on tour?
I'll take my new bottle of Issey Miyake that I bought the other day, because I always need to smell nice after all those sweaty gigs. Not really for the ladies, because I'm married, but just in general, it's nice to smell nice.
Probably a boring one for me, but my battery power pack for my phone, because I'm literally 24/7 sat
It's
on
in
my
the
phone.
tour essentials, mate.
Yeah, I'm
Need to have it.
constantly doing something or working on my phone. So yeah, probably my battery pack for that, so I don't die.
I think probably underpants for me. Because
reaching them high notes, mate. There's got to be some accidents in there.
There has been. Yeah, I do like a nice pair of undies.
That reminds me, I do need to charge my power pack for Thursday.
What are you going to say? You do need to change your pants.
I thought I could smell something.
Reminds me.
Jordan. Yeah, I like a nice set of undies, but they got to be good ones though. They got to be like a nice cotton. They can't be
like branded.
Yeah, they got Marks and Spencer's do some good ones. They got a nice cotton. It's sort of you know, like you pull them up and you get them around like your gooch, and it's just like, and they just they
I'm just thinking this could be like your next endorsement.
yeah,
Just pants.
yeah. Or the other thing that I like to take.
You only allowed one, mate.
Well,
Yeah, one
this
pair
is the
of
only
underwear,
thing you
yeah.
can take on top.
All right,
You're just there in your pants. at the minute.
I'll stick with my undies then. Yeah, I'll stick with undies.
Are you ready for the rumour question again?
Oh god, it came round quick.
Yeah.
Okay, we may or may not be doing a European tour later this year.
Interesting. Do you want to like throw any names out there which you might be touring with? Because this will pretty much confirm or deny the rumour.
Lionel Richie's looking for a support band.
Flu fighters? No, we'll stick with that.
Yeah?
That is my final answer.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we'll stick with that.
All right. So where can everyone follow you guys on social media?
Facebook at Kill the Ideal, Twitter at Kill the Ideal, and Instagram Kill the Ideal, Spotify. You can check out our music videos.
And you can follow Local Distortion on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Obviously, subscribe to this awesome YouTube channel. So we've got loads of interviews with the best up-and-coming bands. And we've got T-shirts as well, which help support the show and everything we do, because we do it all for free. That's it, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, mate.